Hello, 5th grade. Welcome to your quiz review on Chapter 8, Lessons 2 through 5. I'm going to go over some of the problems on page 178 and 179. You will be doing the evens, so I'm going to do a few of the odd problems. So I'm going to start on page 178 with number 5. Number 5 is 8 times 1/4. And remember that I am on page 178 in your textbook. So, to multiply a whole number times a fraction, remember that we need to change the whole number into a fraction. So we just put it over 1. So I'm going to have 8 times 1 over 1 times 4. And remember, I can simplify before multiplying. So I see that 4 is a common factor of 4 and 8. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 8 divided by 4 is 2. So I multiply. 2 times 1 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 over 1, which equals 2. So that's number 5. Let's go to number 19. Number 19 says 4/5 times 10/12. So I'm going to rewrite it to have my numerators together and my denominators together. And I'm going to look for common factors. And I know that 5 and 10 share a common factor of 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then I look at 4 and 12. 4 is a factor of both. 4 divided by 4 is 1. 12 divided by 4 is 3. So now I can multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 3 is 3. So number 19 is 2/3. Now on the next part, on 178, it tells you to identify the expression that simplifies the fractions correctly. You are not actually solving. You are just looking to see which one would be the way you would simplify it before multiplying. So we'll do number 29. Number 29 is 12 times 5/6. So I made that 12 over 1 times 5/6. So that would be 12 times 5 over 1 times 6. So I know that 6 is a factor of 6 and 12. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So I'm going to be multiplying 2 over 1 times 5 over 1. So I'm going to look at number 29, and I can see that A is 2 times 5 over 1, which is what 2 over 1 is. So this would be A for number 29. Let me do one more of those. I'll do number 30, 31. 31 is 21 32nds times 4/7. Remember, you are not actually multiplying. You are just simplifying and choosing the letter that shows the fractions completely simplified before multiplying. So I know that 7 is a factor of 7 and 21. So 7 divided by 7 is 1. 21 divided by 7 is 3. 4 is a factor of 4 and 32. So 4 divided by 4 is 1. 32 divided by 4 is 8. So this would be 3/8 times 1 over 1. So when I look at my choices, I see that C says 3/8 times 1 over 1. So that's what you have to do on 28, 30, and 32. Now let's look on the next page. It says decide if the product will be less than, equal to, or greater than the first factor. So less than, equal to, or greater than. You are looking at the first factor, and you're going to multiply it by 9/9. Remember that 9/9 is 1. And if we multiply anything by 1, we will get a product that is the same as what we started with. So 33 would be equal to. But if I look at 35, I see I'm multiplying 3/3 times 1/8. 1/8 is less than 1. So when I multiply, I will get an answer that is less than 3/3. Less than. But then if I look at number 41, I see I'm multiplying 12/7 times 12/7. What I want to know is not the product of 12/7 times 12/7. I want to know if the product will be more than 12/7 or less than 12/7. It will be more, greater than, because I am multiplying by a number greater than 1. So I would put greater than. All right, the next part, you have to choose any of the fractions that make the statement true. So number 43 says 1/5 times something will be greater than 1/5. That means I need to multiply by a fraction greater than 1 to come up with a product that's greater than what I'm starting with. So if I look over here, I can see that C, 8/5 is greater than 1, and D, 4/1 is greater than 1. So my choices would be C and D. All right, let me look at 45. 45 says 4/7 times something equals 4/7. Well, I know it has to be 1. So I'm going to look over at my choices, and I see that B is equal to 1 and C is equal to 1. Now I'm going to go down to the word problems, and I'm actually going to do the 2 word problems that you need to do. Okay. This table shows how much college students use each device when completing schoolwork that requires internet access. Use the tables for exercises 48 and 49. So suppose a student typically spends 4 hours per week using a device to complete schoolwork. How many schoolwork hours does a student spend on each device in 1 week? So the smartphone, the usage is 2/5 of the time. Well, 2/5 of 4 would be the smartphone, because the college student spends 2/5 of his time using a smartphone, and the time is 4 hours. So this is number 48. So smartphone would be 2/5 of 4. And remember that of means to multiply. So 2/5 times 4/1. Okay, so that I would multiply. 2 times 4 equals 8. 5 times 1 equals 5. 8/5. And I simplify that. 5 goes into 8 once with 3 left over. So 1 3/5 hours on a smartphone. And then we have the tablet. All right, the tablet, the college student uses it 1/4 of the time. Remember, the time is 4 hours. So 1/4 of 4. So you'll need to figure that out, what 1/4 of 4 is. Remember, your answer is in hours. And then the computer is 7/20. 7/20 of the 4 hours. So 7/20 of 4. Remember, of means multiply. It means multiply. So find what 7/20 of 4 is, and your answer will be in hours. Remember to make 4/1, just like we did for the smartphone. And then number 50, the last one, says that Caden practices guitar for 5/6 of an hour. Micah practices for 5/3 of an hour. Does Micah spend half as much time practicing as Caden? Explain. Well, I'm going to look. We have Caden for 5/6 of an hour. So Caden, 5/6 of an hour, and Micah, 5/3 of an hour. So we want to know if Micah spends half as much time practicing as Caden. So I would take 1/2 of Caden. So 1/2 times 5/6. And let's see if that equals 5/3. Well, I can see right away that it does not equal 5/3. It equals 5/12. Because 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 6 is 12. 5/12, which is not 5/3. But actually, if I were to multiply Caden's time by 2 instead of 1/2, 2/1, simplify, dividing by 2, I would see that that equals 5/3. So actually, Micah works twice as much as long as Caden, not half as long. So the answer to that is no. Micah does not spend half as much time practicing as Caden. He spends twice as much time practicing as Caden.